Okay, the vintage computing workstation is starting to take shape. Literally months of like 6 hour a day restoration work on these machines. All of them are at least as good as they were when they came out, possibly, well, actually, some of them are better. Um, so, what we have is we've got a Toshiba 3100E, heavily refurbished, every single cap, every single thing done to it. Um, all sorts of stuff has been made happier, running on an SSD. It's got a SCSI card in it, but um, there's also other cards that I use with it, like 488, GPIB, and other stuff. But the SCSI is nice because it allows me to hook to other kinds of peripherals. Um, so I've also got a Windows 3.1 machine. This is a Toshiba 4850 CT. This one, unbelievable amounts of restoration work. I gave up completely on the floppy. I don't believe that, I'm not completely given up. I'm going to find a different brand, different model, different interface. It will work in there. It's just been really annoying to deal with. The hard drive covers off because it's got a CF card in there, which makes it very easy to swap and use on other machines, including my large main computer in the other room. So this allows me to get software on and off quickly. That's a TIAC FD, whatever it is. They're really good, 3.5. That works after modification for the 3 mode problem. Works really well, and although it shows up as B, it works great. It boots and everything. So I don't have any problem other than it just physically being B rather than A. So this one's got brand new lamps in this CF, also a new display actually. Plus, it's obviously brand new lamps. The expansion station literally had no hours. It was brand new out of a box. I've got an Adaptec SCSI internal external interface card in it, and I've got a network Ethernet card in it. I can do a lot of different things with this because it's got PCMCIA slots. This is an extremely useful platform. Also, since its speed can be adjusted, it's extremely useful for doing the older DOS software. So this is a really nice platform working on DOS, but it also is all kitted out for Windows 3.1. I've also got a Toshiba 8200. This was the top of the line, really, for a Windows 2000 machine. You couldn't really do much better than where this one is. So this was really a great machine. I've got an expansion station that's shipping now from Germany, and that'll add, two ISA 16-bit. I think I forgot now, but it adds cards where you can plug cards into it, and it gives you a bay. That's going to be where I'm going to put my 5.25 in there. I can also do 8-inch in here as well. This is the NEC Spin Rider. This is a wondrous piece of kit for printing. It uses spindles like a daisy wheel, and it's just really great. I've got that switched to a switch where I can hit it from all the devices. What's really cool is that the 3100 running WordPerfect WordPerfect has special software where it supports this exact model and display type, and this printer, this exact model printer. So that's really cool for doing word processing on. Of course, I've got a smart modem, fully functional. I can put that on any one of these machines. Of course, I got a zip drive hooked in with the parallel port so that I can use that on all 3 machines. So I'm getting there. I still have a lot to do here. I'm waiting for the expansion station on the 8200. I've got a second 3100 that's going through major refurb, and modifications. So I'm going to be using a different one than what's here. I've also got stuff that I'm doing on the 4850. So between these three, what I've got, I feel, is sort of the very best way to do DOS. I mean, how can you argue with a gas plasma doing DOS? And that's got a 287 XL in it, and it's got larger hard drive, SSD, all over to compact flash, right? So that's a really neat platform. That's just fun, and I've restored it absolutely completely, so it should last another 30 years. But for doing DOS, if you really want to do DOS correctly, the 3100 is really limited in RAM and in other aspects. So if you really want to do DOS, and your programs don't care about what CPU speeds, so you can run really big CPU speeds, and you really want a lot of RAM, and you want really fast performance, then you want the 4850 for doing DOS. So this is really a good DOS platform, especially with the expansion station and everything on it. This is really a nice way to go for DOS. Also, it's Windows 3.1, so it's kind of the pinnacle of the 3.1 type of platform. So I can do DOS really well, I can do 3.1 really well, and I can do Windows 2000 really well, which encompasses all the stuff that was really done for NT. The 8200 will actually do a whole bunch of OSs. It'll support DOS, and it'll also go all the way up to XP. So, and it'll do all of those, and it's got support for all of those. Plus, it's got a hot swap hard drive, so it's very easy to flip between all the later versions of software on our OSs on that one. So that's actually really good. And then having all this hooked up to, printer. Now I do have a current Brother printer that I'm going to get a stand for, and that can hook to. Although it's it's a USB input, there's ways to get stuff over to it. So the main thing though will be hooking to the 8200, so that because that's USB and that can support stuff. So I can do documents and I can do things, and if I really need to bring them over to a laser printer, then I can do it over there. And I can share data between all of these. Now, networking wise, I do have networking I can do to all these. This is obviously a little challenging with the older gear, but the 3100 has a network card installed in it, and so does the 4850. So I can do networking on all three. So all three can do networking, but what you can do is rather limited, because of course the newer security protocols, TLS and SSL, really don't allow you to browse the web without modifying the OS or doing some crazy garbage. So, they're fairly limited with that. They can talk to each other, they can talk to stuff on my network, but they're limited in what they can really do in the real world. But I've got a main computer that if I need to get files on and off, I go do that, and I grab a zip disk or I grab a compact flash off the main computer, and I can bring it in here and use it on these machines. So there's ways to take care of that. There we have it.